3 years ago, a woman named Emily and her son Lucas moved into the apartment next door. They had a few boxes, so I offered to help them get settled. Lucas, a bright-eyed 10-year-old, had a skateboard, and I told him I used to skate as well, and that he was welcome to borrow my old skateboard anytime he wanted. Since I'm a graphic designer, I told Emily if she ever needed help with design projects, she could ask me anytime. She gratefully accepted. Initially, we only exchanged greetings in passing, but about a month after moving in, Emily knocked on my door and asked if I could help her with a project for her work. She was organizing a charity event and needed some design assistance. It was a simple enough task, so I agreed. Emily was very thankful for my help and insisted on paying me, but I told her it was no problem. She invited me to dinner with her and Lucas as a thank you. I hesitated, but she insisted. The next evening, we had dinner together. I learned a lot about Emily and got to know Lucas better. He was a good kid, into skateboarding, art, and robotics. After dinner, we went over to my place to watch a movie. From that night on, Lucas started coming over more often. I viewed him like a little brother, and we spent hours skating, drawing, and even working on his school projects. He often told his mum that he wanted to be a designer like me when he grew up. Emily appreciated our growing relationship. She became a lot more friendly and comfortable with me. During the pandemic lockdown, I caught the virus, and Emily went above and beyond to take care of me. She brought me groceries, cleaned my apartment, and even cooked dinner for me every night. When I was well again, we continued having dinner together, and Emily would leave meals in my apartment when I worked late. One day, Lucas brought one of his friends over. The friend asked, "Who's this?" Lucas replied, "This is Alex. He's like my big brother." That took me by surprise. I always saw Lucas as a little brother, but hearing him call me his big brother made me realize how much he looked up to me. I asked Emily about it later, and she was just as surprised, but said Lucas viewed me as family. She then admitted that she wouldn't mind if we became a real family. I asked her if she was asking me out, and she just smiled and said yes. I was taken aback, but agreed. We had our first date that weekend, and I was nervous. I didn't want to mess things up with Emily or Lucas. I genuinely cared about both of them, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to take on a father figure role. On the night of the date, I knocked on Emily's door, and she opened it wearing a beautiful dress. I broke the tension by asking if the dress was for me, and she laughed. The evening started awkwardly, but when she grabbed my hand while we were walking to the restaurant, the awkwardness melted away. We talked, laughed, and had a fantastic time. Emily revealed that her feelings for me had solidified the previous Christmas. She had been struggling to afford a gift for Lucas, who desperately wanted a new skateboard. Knowing her situation, I had bought a top-of-the-line skateboard and surprised Lucas with it on Christmas morning, telling him it was from his mum. Emily was moved to tears and repeatedly thanked me, and that's when she realized she wanted me in their lives forever. After dinner, we went back to her place for a nightcap. We talked about our relationship expectations and agreed to take things slow and not tell Lucas until we were sure about our relationship. Emily apologized for pushing the father figure role on me too soon and said she hoped I would eventually see Lucas as a son. Over the next few months, our relationship blossomed. Emily and I grew closer, and Lucas continued to view me as a big brother. At family dinners, Emily would sit closer to me, and we often shared knowing glances and smiles. 1.5 years later, I'm at work, and my boss calls me into his office. I walk in, expecting the worst, but instead, he hands me a bouquet of roses with a card that says, "Just because. Love, Emily." My boss laughs and tells me not to mess things up. My co-workers tease me, but I don't care. I'm floating on air. Emily and Lucas have become my family, and I'm happier than I ever imagined. Sometimes the unexpected turns in life lead to the greatest blessings. And as for buying a ring, maybe not today, but soon. Emily and Lucas are everything I want in a family, and I hope I can be worthy of them.